Hi there, this is Kyle and Travis with BeyondBipolarBlog.com. So anyway, it's been a while since we actually uploaded a video for Beyond Bipolar Blog, and it's just going to be a little chat and a little unboxing of something that relates to mental health and what a lot of people recommend and a lot of coaches and therapists recommend and psychologists recommend. So anyway, I ended up buying this Moonstar handmade leather journal. And I want to talk a little bit about the journals. So this is a 8 by 6 inches monster leather journal, and it's for 26 bucks. It's fairly pricey, and I wanted to just unbox it. The reason why I wanted to have my brother involved, because he's been journaling for a long time, and I just wanted to talk to him about the process and why he journals and what he writes about. So I'm going to unbox it. Seems like a pretty good journal. It's cool that it comes with its own little case. Durlap case, and I'm pretty excited to journal because I haven't been feeling that great earlier in January. I'm feeling a little better now, but I always wanted to start a journal, just write my thoughts. I tend to write my thoughts always on Facebook, which probably isn't the best. Sometimes the greats recommend that you just write in a journal and just burn it. So let's see what's in here. I mean, this thing even comes with an earphone organizer, which is funny. And it comes with this little thing. And, of course, just a desiccant bag, which is for drawing. But anyway, let's open this up. I think it comes with a key, too. Something. Oh, no, it doesn't. So you just pretty much just unravel it. And you can see the inside. Wow. And I don't know if you can add any more paper. I don't think you can, but this should last. But they recommend like having a journal for every year and writing down like your goals, desires, dreams, and just when you're having a good day or bad day, because sometimes the best psychologist is yourself. And if you write every day, trying to write things out from the heart, and the best thing, it's private. It's really good for the mental health. So my brother also has his journal too, and I'll like to show that. Anyway, it's a pretty good journal. I'll be writing that too, which I'm pretty excited about. But this little baby, Tree of Life, costs 26 bucks. My brother has his own journal here. I don't know if this is recent, but this is his journal. I don't know how much he's been writing. It looks like it's already almost to the end. Could you explain a little bit about why you started journaling? I don't know when you started journaling.
So I started,
and why does it help you? And why do you do it?
The first time I actually got a journal was actually from my family. They gave me this really nice journal in 2014 because it was a time where I was definitely not feeling very good. Now in the past, I have written in notebooks here and there. Surprisingly, this is actually my third journal. So I've actually, you
have three of the same one or different ones?
They're actually all different ones. I mean, my brother's journal definitely looks better in terms of design, probably maybe 4 out of 5. Mine is just pretty plain looking.
But if you open it up, it seems like it has a grid thing that you're writing.
The one thing I
like to the camera
about it is the grid. My only problem is the grid's way too small. So in a way, you really don't follow the lines unless you want to write really small. However, I decided to just stick with it because I already paid quite a bit of money on it. I like it that it has this, especially this the pen holder. So it's definitely beneficial. I'm not sure about the many pages, but I'm working on this.
Do you have your other journals somewhere in the room so I can grab them?
Yeah, they're probably
Just give me a second. I just want you to explain a little bit about journaling and why do you feel like it has helped your health and why do you still do it?
So anyway, the reason why I journal is mostly just kind of describe how I've been feeling. Now, the one thing I do want to note is that if you're continually having negative thoughts and you're really not benefiting from it, you're just noticing a pattern where you're always negative or sad, you might want to consider other options. Sometimes constantly being negative is definitely not beneficial. Maybe being able to try to think more positive. I know it's really, really hard to do, but writing things that you're grateful for can be very, very beneficial. You always want to try to remain on a more peaceful note and try to be more positive, try to be more grateful. And I know in practice it's very, very hard to do, but if it's to the point where you are totally unable to be content with your life or find satisfaction, you might want to consider seeing a psychiatrist or going to therapy, group therapy. And maybe you need an independent living skills worker or an arms worker where they could go to your house and help you set goals. So,
Just let me in for a second.
one of the great things about journaling is, yes, you can express your thoughts regardless, whether it's positive or negative or in between. The thing you got to be notative about is the type of things you're journaling and how consistent it is. What is the pattern that you've been noticing? It's great if you can find some more positive things and try to kind of just be able to work through the negative problems that you might have. I think the most important thing is of a journal is it's supposed to help you write your thoughts so you can problem solve, not necessarily to constantly be negative. It's more important to kind of have personal development, and I read a lot of personal development books. One in particular is Tony Robbins, and I know there's a few others, but I can't really catch the name. And generally, yes, you want to express your thoughts, but most importantly, you want to be able to have some personal development, that you want to be able to, most importantly, set goals. Now, for me, when it comes to goals, I always try to set like yearly goals, but in the end, I wasn't seeing much progress. So what I've done was write any goal that I could probably do in the next week or month or two. That's probably more important. In fact, I haven't done it lately, but I try to write goals every month, write as many as I can that I know for sure that I can manage, whether it is getting up, for starters, making your bed or taking a shower on a daily basis, or eating healthy on a daily basis, getting exercise, simple things like that. So start small, and then over time, you'll notice hopefully that you'll accomplish long-term goals. So you want to start with short-term goals and extend yourself to long-term goals. I think that's very, very important. My brother maybe didn't have a journal, but he definitely did write on goals, and that's very, very important.
And they have something called like the magic, where they believe whether or not the energy that you put out and what you think about some of the goals that you set is, for the most part, gives you a direction and it comes true. So it's actually not attaining goals that seem to make people happy. It's actually during the process that seems to make people happy and gives them meaning. So looking at these two other older journals, I don't know if I'm familiar with these. Could you explain a little bit, like maybe the content, if you remember it? Or
the design in this looks really, really great, and I really like it.
Should have hold it up closer.
I really like this one. It was actually $10 or $9.99, and the good thing about this is it has a pretty wide leading to it, which is a lot larger than this, which I really regret getting. However, fortunately, this was really, really great in terms of leading. And this one I just ended up finding in the basement. I mean, 2015, I tried to just write on paper, but it was just inconsistent. And this one just showed up because of it. I liked it that it actually contains quotes for the day that you can definitely find inspiring. Once again, the leading's pretty wide, so it's definitely really, really beneficial. As you can see, this one goes from, this is really old, so really, this is 12/26/14 to...
Well, you wrote really good there.
12/31/15. So...
Is this the earliest journal you've done?
That is the early... See, I used to do some other writing in a notepad, but I really never kept track.
So you started in 2015, you said.
Yeah, and then through 16, I really didn't even focus on it. I just wrote in a paper, but I guess I was too lazy to get a journal. So this went from 5/17 to, let's see, to 9/19.
So it is important to date them, folks.
Thing. Yeah, it's really important to date.
So,
and this one goes from 9/19 to, I think it's already 2023. Present. So that's presently. And I haven't written in a while, but it's noted that it's important to date, and it's important to write, but more importantly, to set some short-term goals for yourself, whether it's just writing maybe 3 to 10 things that are positive through the day. Yes, a lot of people can essentially do very well just writing their feelings out. In fact, a lot of my lyrics come from journaling. So I just write whatever I feel, and yeah, a lot of it's kind of negative, but I kind of put that to use because I do make music out of it, and I do find some fulfillment in that. However, the one thing that is really, really important, regardless of how the design works or how lengthy it is or the leading or whatnot, I think the most important thing is to have some area to put a pen, because if you're really, really lazy and you're on the couch or bed, it might be too much work just to get a pen. But if you know there's a pen there in some shape or form, and if not, at least have a pen that has a way to catch on the book. So that's really important too.
So what's your favorite journal of all these that you use, or if you like mine, or what do you think?
I think practicality is actually this one, even though I think the design's kind of boring. You know, there's also, you notice that there's this little bookmark here.
Oh, I see.
I think there's one in here too somewhere. And there's one here that
I don't have that.
That kind of binds to it. You can see that little bookmark here. But this one right here, this thing, I mean, yeah, you can keep track, but for me, it's not necessary. In the past, I took these little Post-it stickers and just highlight things that are important. I think highlighting or putting marking or stickering or underlining or bolding or capitalizing can be very, very beneficial. Like I said, I set monthly goals, and in between, I do sometimes write my feelings, but for sure, I do write monthly goals. In the beginning, I do write important things like passcodes and important dates and maybe important affirmations that I give for myself. But yeah, that is essentially why I write and continue to write in journals and why I have so many.
Okay, so imagine me, I'm starting out. What's your recommendations of, like, what should they write about? So they buy the journal, our audience buys the journal, or folks. What do you think they should write about, or
to be honest,
do you have a structure
I think
set, or when do you do it?
I think having a purpose is really important. I mean, if you just feel so bored, that's probably the main reason. It's just maybe just start writing whatever, and it can be just writing about how your day is. It can be as simple as writing a few goals that you did or a few things that you've done throughout the day. It can be about the feelings you write. Essentially, it can be just about anything that will get you to pick up a pen or pencil and start writing. It's very, very hard to do sometimes, because maybe I just feel so bored I don't want to do anything, or I'm so depressed I don't want to do anything, or I'm just too busy and I don't want to do anything. So really, I feel like for the most part, writing has always come easy to me in expressing myself.
So you don't have to force it usually, like when days you sit in your bed,
a lot of the
randomly grab it.
A lot of the time, I don't force it. It
Oh, you
just
don't.
comes natural. So in a way, I guess I kind of enjoy writing, or at least expressing my thoughts, being in a creative kind of force or desire that I have. You know, I know for a fact Kyle has often used Facebook to express his feelings, but
which isn't the most healthiest.
But I don't really enjoy that, because not only do people probably don't like seeing that, a lot of it's private, and for the most part, you can't really keep track of it. Yeah, it shows up in memories, but throughout all these journals, I can pretty much keep a record of everything: my feelings, my goals, what I have done to accomplish throughout that day. It can just pretty much anything, lyrics or sometimes little drawings that I do in case if I'm bored. I mean, essentially, Kyle can just write about anything, but if you want to be particular, it's probably more important to write right now is the goals, because that does give you some purpose, and then maybe write whatever comes to mind, your day or feelings. And for the most part, if you want to be practical, you do want to kind to analyze the work that you do and do a little negotiation that will allow you to progress in a more positive manner, and maybe essentially get you to where you believe might be a healthy form of living.
So looking at all the process, I mean, you can just look through everything. Is there anything that you learned about yourself through all this stuff, and have your goals come true, and do you believe in the belief and intention, and that what you desire is what you attract, and if that's why it's important that you write goals. What
I
if
mean,
people
I
they
hate
don't
to
know what
say
their
it.
goals are.
I hate to
What
say
if they're
it.
so depressed they don't know?
I do have like a few papers on a clipboard that I probably wrote all my goals onto that I've actually accomplished, like going to Korea, being part of a fitness journey, getting a six pack,
music,
trying to create albums, music, do more in art. I've wrote a lot of things that I've already accomplished. I mean, some things are unrealistic, like being a millionaire or having these really expensive cars or whatever. But really, I mean, to be realistically speaking, having a journal, and I do regret having 2015 not having a journal.
Why?
Because even though it's on paper, the fact that it's tattered, maybe has water stains or any type of like food filament stains, it kind of sucks because I do keep track of it. I know where it's at, but it would be more fortunate to be in a journal because I know for certain that I'd be able to look at it all the time. I mean, I would hate to just write everything over. I mean, that's the whole point of writing, is just being able to write your thoughts on without having to worry about how it looks like or the spelling, things like that. So essentially, I think just to get started, just write your goals.
Okay. The 3 goals, maybe?
3 goals. One is better than nothing, to be honest, right? One thing right now that he could accomplish just this day, maybe just get these videos recorded, essentially. But yeah, that's kind of my...
And then you write about how you feel too after that, or what's usually your process?
So when it comes to bipolar disorder, in the past, I've always wrote like how my day's been. Though. But these days it used to be about feelings, and now it's more about goal setting. So I've really progressed because, you know, being with a psychiatrist that has really benefited me, on being a medication that has really, really worked for me in the last year and a half, a drug called Caplyta, a new antipsychotic. I've helped it work wonders, and I haven't been able to progress negatively, which I often write negative things. But these days, it's just about goal setting, because I don't have to think too much about being negative and having to write things down. So there is a huge progression, just being bored, to writing mindlessly, to expressing feelings, to more essentially running goals.
Do you think writing this makes you feel better, and does it reduce depression and suicidal thoughts, or
I think the good thing about writing is the dialectical behavioral therapy that you can learn from it.
And what's that mean?
Just observing and describing is actually the most bricklayer work for being mindful. Looking at the book, looking at the words you write, being able to just focus on the pen or whatever's writing is very beneficial, because it keeps you mindful in the present. I think being in the present is very, very important. That's why I enjoy journaling, because you're basically writing whatever's happening at that moment. And I think that's what's important when it comes to dialectical behavioral therapy and being on a journey to better mental health, is practicing mindfulness. And I feel that observing, describing is essentially the brickwork to being mindful and dialectical behavioral therapy.
So do you have any other goals that you want to write in your journal?
Lately, or I think ever since I've been better, it'd be nice to have a girlfriend, but I'm not really heavy on it. It's not something I have to think on a daily basis, because I guess when I'm sad or empty, I want to try to find something to fill that. But sadly, I hate to say it, I haven't wrote since November.
Oh.
So really,
so Christmas time wasn't much of a time that you needed to write. That's kind of weird, because usually the holidays are difficult on you.
Yeah, I mean,
you didn't even
Christmas...
talk about like it was
kind of... I did do December, so I did. Sorry, I did go to December. In January, I didn't write anything. So,
it's just ironic because it's the new year and your birthday.
So I guess like I can just list some of the things I did. Check end of the year income, drop 124 to 123, hit 1,000 subs on YouTube, Beyond Bipolar.
You already did that though, didn't you?
Have a positive Xmas, which didn't happen, but later in the day it did. Come up with lyrics for a new song, finish bills for November, record new song, try to avoid lack of satisfaction, figure out new philosophy for Beyond Bipolar blog video, problem with avoiding difficult subjects, and how to resolve them. Wanted to develop old skills like art, revive passion, maybe work on Sunflower, record cover songs. So it's just really simple things I could accomplish during the day. I mean,
And it doesn't have to be like an X amount of space. It looks like you'd have 12 goals. The previous one only has 8.
Yeah,
it just changes.
So I try to do monthly goals. That's probably a good
you
one.
mainly just write goals. You don't really write about your feelings as much, or maybe right there. Or oh no, it's all goals now.
Yeah. So I mean, to be honest, with you, like I said,
This one maybe, but those are lyrics. So
I feel like goals is the secondary development of being mindful and having personal health, because
it must be more important than actually writing how you feel.
Yeah, because in the end, I feel like if you write so much how you feel that's negative, how is that progressing you in personal development? I'm kind of big on personal development, like psychologically. I feel that
Eckhart Tolle, Tony Robbins, Mark Manson.
So in a way, they're all about goal
Jordan
setting,
Peterson.
and I feel like it's good to be mindful. I mean, unless you write a journal and sell, if that's what your big thing is, or maybe
but that shouldn't be.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is important for you just to write negatively or how you feel. But for me personally, I feel like I want to try to take a more positive, more a personal development route with goals. And I feel like writing goals is more constructive than just expressing.
So you actually
feelings.
feel like the goals is probably the number one thing why you have a journal.
Yeah, right now it is. But yeah, that's it.
All right, I think that's it, everybody. It's almost already February. I mean, it already is almost March, and it's almost already Easter. Wednesday's Ash Wednesday. So I just figured this would be a cool video. I want to unbox this. I'm excited to just write. Maybe I could learn a few things about myself, because the best observer is yourself. And I've seen other videos of other life coaches saying that it's really important to keep a journal and just write it. And yeah, sometimes like Travis says, when you just write, there's like no end goal. So it's important to have some goals. But I just am excited. This is how big it is. I give this 4 out of 5 stars, and I think that's it. So please like, comment, share, and hit the bell button for future updates. My brother's been hard at work doing the Beyond Bipolar Fitness TikTok type stuff. I don't know if you have any other announcements you want to make.
No, I just want to recap one thing. So it's important to at least first have a journal. Number 2, have a pen or pencil handy, whether it's in a area where you could put it or just clip it onto. That's really, really important to get started. And number 3, just write first what you want to, how you feel, and maybe a goal or 2 in the process. And that's it.
All right, it's been a while since we uploaded a Beyond Bipolar blog. Please like, comment, share, and hit the bell button. This is Kyle and Travis, this is Kyle and Travis, your blog guys, I guess you want to if you want to call it, and we speak about mental health and our own personal journey. We hope everyone hangs in there and has a pleasant and happy and safe year.
By the way, if you're on my YouTube page, which is just basically beyondbipolarblog.com, it goes to my YouTube page. I upload a lot of shorts that revolve around like fitness and weight loss transformation. So check those out. You can just see it on the right side of the page. Thanks.
Okay.